Well, what a wonderful evening this turned out. Before we jump into the official remarks, I want to thank you all for venturing out in what could have been rain, wind, some scary, conditions, and I'm just really grateful that you're all here. So, welcome, friends and faculty members for the USF Sarasota Manatee campus and Women in Leadership and Philanthropy. If we could we turn off the music? I'm not sure how that happens, but I'm sure someone will be able to take care of it. It is a lovely song. Here comes the sun, we hope so. All right, well, we have a wonderful program planned for you all this evening. Thank you so much for being here for our second annual Visionary Women's event, this year focused on education. So let's give a round of applause for this. I'm Lauren Gestalder. I'm the Executive Director for Women in Leadership and Philanthropy. It's a true honor to be here this evening amongst such an incredible group of wonderful people. So thank you for being here. Let me give you a little history about this group. For nearly 18 years, WLP has engaged educators, community leaders, philanthropists, all for one amazing opportunity, which is to support female students and faculty members here at USF. And the group started in 2005 under President Emerita Judy Genschaft and a community philanthropist, Carol Morsani, who had a vision of what this could be. And next year we'll celebrate our 20th anniversary. And what a wonderful group this has become with professionals, community leaders, again, with one vision to promote the education and research endeavors of faculty and students here at USF. So that's pretty cool. Anila will share some information about the group a little bit later in the program. But at this time, we wanted to highlight a quick video, so turn your attention to the screens.
There are many reasons people engage with women in leadership and philanthropy. Some support to honor the past and pay it forward.
I give because I couldn't afford to attend college.
Others support to fuel a vision for the future.
I give because a woman empowered can change the world.
Regardless of the reason, these gifts of time, talent, and treasure help remarkable USF students in their mission to make a difference in our world.
I'm working to cure disease.
Quiero que cada persona tenga una voz.
I want our community
to be safe.
I'm doing this for my children.
We are doing this for our future.
WLP knows that when we lift each other up, we all go further.
This degree isn't for me.
This degree is for my future.
It's for my future.
For our future.
Join us, and let's discover the heights that we can reach together.
Thank you. None of this would be possible without our founding members who are listed on the screen right now. And they had such a clear vision, and they are proud to see the hard work of women in leadership and in action today. One of our founding members was Dr. Mona Jane, a pioneer in so many ways, a loyal supporter of WLP and the USF Sarasota Manatee campus. Mona was an advocate for education, a leader in the community, and this event is named after Mona to honor her legacy as a visionary woman herself. So, pretty incredible. Thanks for being here. Now listed on the screen are our lifetime members. These individuals have chosen to make a meaningful investment to ensure women at USF are supported by endowing scholarships that have a lasting impact. We're so grateful for you. And to our corporate members, we appreciate you. Many of you are in the room here today, some new faces and representatives, so welcome. Businesses that sign up as corporate members of WLP can designate 2 employees to be WLP members for a year. Thank you again for being here. And to all of our general members, we're so appreciative of your support. Thank you, thank you. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Karen Holbrook, the esteemed Regional Chancellor of the USF Sarasota Manatee campus, to the podium to share some exciting updates about this campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren, very much. And mostly thank you all for being here. This is a wonderful evening, and it's great to look out and see all of you here. It really, really is a special evening, and it's particularly special, I think, because it is in the honor of Mona Jane. And Anila, I don't know how much you're going to say about your mom, but I'm going to say a few things just because I can't think of a more fitting person to honor this round or to do it in her honor than Mona Jane. Who has more degrees than Mona Jane? She has a PhD, an MD, an education specialist degree, a Bachelor of Education, and a Bachelor of Science. How many people have 6 degrees? And Mona Jane does. And what did she do with them? She used them to help other people, and she particularly used them to help women and to help other people who needed an education and to find a way to get an education. She was involved in education in Great Britain. She was involved in Indian systems, and she was involved in American systems of education. She is an educator par excellence, and it's so wonderful that the middle school is named after the Mona Jane Middle School. But I wanted everybody to know that this is so appropriate that this is dedicated to her tonight. A wonderful, wonderful person that we all had the privilege of knowing for a long time and who did so much for so many people in our community and well beyond that. So I'm delighted that this is dedicated to Mona. Now, I guess I will transition, and I've been asked to say something about the University of South Florida, Sarasota Manatee. So let me start out and just say, University of South Florida, Sarasota Manatee is very important. We think it's the best campus, of course, but it is part of a great consolidated university. And for all of those of you who know, we are now an AAU university, which means we are one of among 71 of the top universities in the nation. We are a preeminent university. Now, a lot of people don't know how important AAU is, but it isn't something that you apply to get into. It's something you are invited to get into when you meet the standards. And USF has well met the standards for becoming a member with all of the other top universities in the nation. So we are really proud that our campus is one of 3 that's consolidated into a world-class, preeminent research university. And that means that every one of our faculty and every one of our campuses all have the same standards. It isn't that you can come to Sarasota Manatee and get a job and do less. Or it isn't that you as a student can go to St. Pete on lesser grade point average. No, we all of the standards are exactly the same, which means that this really is a first-class, top-notch, #1 research university, and we're so proud of it. And we are so proud of our own little campus here. In fact, we love our campus here. It's a very special place because it's more like a family than like a very large university campus, and it can be because it's a small campus. We know each other, we know our students. We follow our students very carefully. We want our students to come in, and we want our students to be a great success. We also continue to build programs so that our students are not getting a different education, but our students are getting the same education. And in fact, there are something like 220 majors at the University of South Florida, undergraduate majors, and our students have access to every one of those. They may not be able to finish all of them on this campus, but they can start all of them, and they can finish many of them here. So it's very important that if they want to come and start on a smaller campus, get used to college, get used to being in a dorm with other people, they can start here and then they can transfer if they need to do that. And we've started a lot of very interesting new programs here on this campus. The College of Business has brought different programs that we've had before. We have risk management insurance, which has been here, is growing and accelerating here to meet the needs of the community. Business analytics and information systems is now coming here for the first time. But we keep adding new programs. We've added cybercrime. We've added health, behavioral health. Let me see if I can get this right. Behavioral health is also coming here. And one that I'm very excited about is we are adding aerospace engineering. And aerospace engineering is already started on the campus in Tampa. but we've hired 4 faculty, and it's going to be a program that is launched here. It's going to be mechanical and aerospace engineering, and it's part of an aviation ecosystem that's building up in our area. So this area is really changing. It's becoming extremely exciting. Our partners are with the community, our partners are with the EDCs, our partners are with SRQ, our partners with the public schools, and with the technical schools, but our program specifically is aerospace engineering, and we are really, really excited. We have a minor that's already in place, and in 1 more year, there'll be a major. So this is going to be a very exciting campus, and we keep growing. There are so many things that we can do on this campus. We need more space. We need more space. But that's going to take some time, but without more space, the kinds of programs that we want to build, and many of those are in the arts. We haven't done as much in the arts as we could, but those are the kinds of programs that we can do in partnership with this community and without the space that we need. And of course, you've seen our beautiful building next door. This is our student center and residence hall. We will have 4 floors of residences and 200 students, and the first 2 floors are all for students. That will be the student centers, student government will be there, the student clubs, and the first floor will have a large ballroom that will seat 300 people. So instead of 100 and some people that can fit in here, we'll have 300 over there, and a bookstore, and a sports area, and a number of other things. So it's very exciting. I see that the fence is down. I just noticed that today, that the construction fence is down, which means the landscaping is going to go in, and we're looking toward finishing it up this summer. So this is a very exciting place to be, and it's a place that we all love to be, and we love to have groups like this come join us. So please come back many times. Enjoy the education tonight. I want to introduce at least one person here, our Dean of Education, Dr. Anthony Roll. Anthony is here to join us tonight. And in seeing that, I mean, education is critical. It's exactly what we're thinking. It's exactly what we're thinking about. It's what Mona was always thinking about, whether it's K through 12 all the way through PhD programs. But it is so important, and I just want to say that our College of Education on this campus has absolutely flourished. We are so excited about all of the things that are going on. Cheryl Ellerbrock, our dean, is somewhere around here. She's hiding over in the corner, but we are doing so many more new innovative things on this campus. And whatever level you're looking at education, it is so critically important, and it fits cross-cutting in every single thing that we do. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the program tonight. We look forward to talking with all of you, and I don't know who I pass this on to. Back to you, Lauren. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those wonderful remarks. I wanted to take a few moments to thank some of the individuals who helped make tonight possible. First, I would like to thank the foundation development team. So we have Mari and Caitlin and Clara. So thank you so much for assisting. There's a wonderful events team here who makes everything so easy for us, and I'd like to thank Kelly and Emily. Thank you so much. I have the great pleasure of working with a wonderful team who are part of Women in Leadership and Philanthropy. 2 of them are here with us tonight. So Nevena Pahar, thank you so much, and Maria, who help keep everything organized. And the fun's coming, so thank you, Nevena. And 2 of our representatives are not with us. They have the night off. Isn't that nice? So Holly and Rihanna, they do so many wonderful things. And I'd also like to thank Kelly Gibson, who's one of our vice presidents with the foundation, for being here tonight as well. And before I introduce our next speaker, I always like to recognize individuals who are part of the executive committee. And unfortunately, 2 of our chairs, Valerie Riddle and Pam Iorio, were not able to make it. But I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Moira Burke in the back, who chaired for us, so thank you so much. There's a wonderful executive committee, a great group of volunteers, and we're only as strong as our members and volunteers. So to everyone who assists in any capacity, truly, thank you so much. At this point, I wanted to introduce our next speaker who's going to showcase and share some wonderful information about WLP, and that's Dr. Anila Jain. Anila, I don't know where you are in the room. That's why I look a little lost. There we are. Okay. Anila, you have been such a wonderful partner and collaborator with bringing today's event to light, and it's such a great success. So I want you all to know this truly was Anila's idea. So thank you, Anila. Tonight, we get to showcase WLP for extraordinary women for a conversation focused on visionary women in education. So truly, thank you for your partnership with making tonight a huge success. And at this time, I invite you to join us at the podium. Let me get these out of your way.
Good evening, and thank you all for joining us tonight. Each year, Women in Leadership and Philanthropy awards approximately 200 scholarships to deserving students. At our recent commencement ceremonies, we celebrated over 53 WLP student scholars from USF who wear their WLP cords. Additionally, WLP recently awarded 6 faculty members with the Dr. Kathleen Moore Faculty Excellence Awards. These prestigious recognition is accompanied by $5,000 grants to put toward their research that have a lasting impact on women. 2 of these recipients are from our very own USF Sarasota Manatee campus. Congratulations this year to Dr. Seedon Do-han and Dr. Young-Suk Kim. And we have many in the room tonight that are past recipients that we are very honored that they're joining us again today. As Lauren said, WLP is 300 strong. If you're interested in learning more about joining yourself, please talk to Lauren, our executive director, or any of the members that are here. We have wonderful female members, also male members, some of them that are here with us today. We have room to grow, and I can personally love to see us expand our presence in the Sarasota Manatee area. The need for support is great, and your generosity will make a difference, especially the life of our young students, that many of them are first generation, and I think it's very important that they see role models, mentors in the community from the women and men that are here today. As you see in the program, we had a student speaker that could not be with us today. So I would like to introduce you to someone that's very dear to my heart, Hava Alarakia, a proud USF grad with a Bachelor of Arts in World Languages with a concentration in Spanish, a master's degree in education, and she's working on her PhD in educational program development, and hopefully will be graduating in December of 2024. Currently, Hawa is a graduate research assistant on this campus, and she's published in a short time over a dozen articles in higher education publications and presented at conferences on global research and disability at not only in the United States, but at a global conference. I'm very proud of her because I remember her from the preemie that she was in the NICU when she was first born. She's overcome obstacles and has persevered and excelled in everything that she undertakes. I'm proud to introduce Hava Alarakia.
Okay, I think that's good. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Women in Leadership and Philanthropy, Dr. Cheryl Ellerbrock, our Assistant Dean in the College of Education, and Dr. Anila Jain for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My parents always taught me that your education belongs to you and no one can ever take that away. And I have carried that message with me during the 8 years I have spent as a student in the College of Education. In 2018, I graduated with my master's in education, focusing on online learning here from the Sarasota Manatee campus. This gave me the skills I needed to pursue my doctorate in education. The inspiration behind my dissertation actually grew from my master's thesis, an online course which I developed for faculty about providing accommodations to students with disabilities in the classroom, in K through 12 or higher ed. I have been fortunate that the vast community of faculty have guided me through my dissertation so far, and the topic of my dissertation is a descriptive survey among our USF faculty about their knowledge, ability, and willingness to accommodate students with disabilities. My position as the graduate assistant in the Office of Research has allowed me to guide College of Education students through the research process and presenting at a conference their inquiries which they explored during their internships and teaching K through 12 students. This year, I was so thrilled that 17 or 34% of our entire student attendees for the conference were from the College of Education. I hope everyone has a good evening, and thank you for being here and your time.
What wonderful remarks. Thank you so much for sharing those with us this evening. At this time, we will begin our panel discussion, which I know so many of you are here to listen in on this evening. I want to introduce Kayla Lanier, WLP member and Assistant Dean of the Judy Genshaft Honors College on the Sarasota Manatee campus, to come to the podium and kickstart our panel discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. And I'll go ahead and invite our panelists to join us on stage. While they are making their way to the stage, I want to ask, how many educators do we have in the conference today? A good amount. I'm not sure about you all, but I found myself and my path to education and to being an educator to be a little bit of a circuitous route. As a child, as a young girl, I loved to read and write. I would line up all of my stuffed animals on the bed and read aloud to them, everything from Nancy Drew to the Babysitter's Club to R.L. Stein's Goosebumps series. Soon enough, I began writing my own stories around middle school and circulate them amongst my friends. Mostly they were rom-coms where one of us would get together with whatever person we had our crush on at the time. Even as an adult, I'm still an avid reader, still reading romance novels, really. And reading plays an active role in my life as an educator in the way that I continue to connect with today's college students. So it's really a delightful opportunity for me to be able to talk with these fantastic educators for whom I know literacy and reading is such a big part of what they do on a daily basis. So today we have an incredible panel of educators with compelling stories of their own, with their careers and passion projects. So we'll hear a little bit about what they're doing in their work and the university that connects all of us with our local community and with you all. So as you may see the panelists' bios in front of you, it's not lost on me that all of our panelists have a PhD or soon will. I was the first in my family to attend college, and I understand the hard path that it takes for us to get to these positions of prominence, right? And yet here we are, only 2% of the nation holds a PhD, and we've got a big group of them here in this room. So, ladies, we're often praised for the positions that we hold, these positions of influence and power, and yet we sometimes skip over the process that it took to get here. Can you all talk about your path to getting to where you are today and some of the key lessons that have shaped your outlook on leadership? Does someone want to start? Or I can call from the front?
Sure. I will start with my path. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. LaShawn Frost, the proud principal of Booker Middle School here in Sarasota, Florida. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. And I will tell you, my path actually started wanting to go to law school. I was accepted to Stetson University, but had an opportunity to volunteer at a program here in Sarasota. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Is that better? Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you. I'm usually really loud because I was a cheerleader, so I don't know. This may be a mistake. But my path actually started wanting to become an attorney, was accepted to Stetson University in St. Pete, volunteered here in Sarasota at the SAIS's program, and I became very, very excited about education. Never thought I would. I went home that evening to share with my parents that I had decided to go in education. And what do you think happened? Absolutely. My parents were like, "Are you crazy?" So no, I wasn't. I took a jump, but let me share this. I actually grew up in a home with very, very high expectations. So my mom and dad had pretty high expectations for me. And one day in fourth grade, I was a finalist in a fourth grade spelling bee. And it was myself and another scholar at that time, and he had misspelled a word. And of course, standing there thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I am going to be the winner of the school-wide spelling bee. How exciting is this going to be to represent my school at the regional spelling bee? When it was my time to spell that final word, I know, I heard someone go, oh no. That's exactly how I feel today. So I was given that word, and the coordinator said, spell the word 19. And you're absolutely right, oh no. So ladies and gentlemen, in fourth grade, I misspelled the word 19. Never forgot how to spell it again. However, when I went home, my mom and dad, instead of being excited that I made, I was a finalist, they were extremely upset. And that really hurt me and really drove the passion I have to be a champion in life today. And that passion extends to my scholars and everything that I do as a leader in this community and across the nation. So having had a desire to go to law school, I ended up volunteering, as I shared with you, and got excited about education and absolutely loved it. From there, I had always seen myself as a leader in all that I do. I remember the superintendent of Sarasota Schools at that time walked up to me and said, you are doing great things in this school district. I really think you should go back to school and get your ed leadership degree. And I never thought about it. However, I knew I was a leader because even as a kid, I try to lead others, right? Let's do great things. And from there, that passion drove me in education. It drove me to become better. It drove me to ensure that whatever I do it with excellence. And that's my philosophy. I extend that to the community that I serve, and of course in Sarasota County. Thus, not only being an educator, but also giving back to our community by serving on numerous boards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go next. Let's see. Yes?
Yes? There we go. So my name is Dr. Ruby Zickafoos. I am the proud principal of Ola Elementary School, a brand new dual language arts infused school that just opened this year. We're finishing up our first year. My story began, I was a migrant farm worker for the first 21 years of my life. And along with that came me being the voice for my mom, who had only attended school for 6 months in kindergarten. Along with being illiterate in both Spanish and English, I was her voice. Many times you'll see where the parent has the child, come on, interpret for me. Well, I was her voice. And during that time, I learned a lot about leadership, about one's voice, about identity, and all those things that come along with a woman who cannot speak and who cannot have that voice. She picks, oh, there we go, where she picks the restaurants where she can eat because she needs pictures. And so where are the restaurants that have pictures so that she can know what she's ordering? Where she looks in the line when she's going to cash out to know who has the biggest smile, who might be kind to me. So along that route, being my mom's voice, I promised her that I was going to be a teacher at the age of 8. And little did I know that that would lead me down a path of not only becoming a teacher, but getting my master's and getting my PhD at USF. Go Bulls. And so now as the principal of a dual language school, my mission is to provide that essence of education, that importance. Very few people have the insight of what life is without an education, a very basic education. I have that gift of not only knowing what it is to live a life without education, but the promise what life can be with an education. And that's what I hope the message that I want to give to my kids is that the higher you go in education, the more you learn, the more you give yourself. And within one generation, I have 3 boys who all have college degrees now from USF. And those convictions that I carry with me each and every day that I sit beside a child to teach them how to read. I remember my mom. Excellent. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Ellerbrock, and I am proud to be the campus dean of this amazing campus at USF Sarasota Manatee in the College of Education. It is a delight to be able to serve this community in the College of Education, and I love my job every day. My journey to this stage was a unique one. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be a teacher. I remember being 2 and 3 years old, lining my dolls up in front of my chalkboard. I had no role model to what that meant at that time. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. I lived in a small rural town that had a blinking red light, and the most famous thing to do would be to hang out by the pond, and everybody was related in some extended fashion in my town, and I knew that I wanted to be a teacher before I even really knew what that meant. What I think it really meant to me at that time is still what it means to me today, and that is to be able to help another become everything that they want to be. And how I got here, I'm surprised I'm sitting here today, to be honest with you. My family were snowbirds, and we know what that means in this town. I did half a year in New York and half a year in Florida for quite a few years of my life. From 3rd grade to 7th grade, I was disenrolled and re-enrolled in schools. Come 8th grade, my mom thought, well, maybe I should do some schooling down here, so I was enrolled in school down here, pulled out up there. Come 9th grade, I stayed here, and so we all know what that means in education. There was lots of gaps along the way. But along the way, I also met a lot of individuals in the school system that saw that spark in me. And they were able to take me under their wing and nurture me and guide me to be able to see that greatness in myself and help me fulfill this dream. But also along the way, much like my friend LaShawn, I had people dissuading me from entering the field of education. I heard things like, "You're too smart to be a teacher." To me, that just didn't make any sense. To me, the most noble and intelligent are indeed in the field of education and teaching and uplifting our next generation of youth. Quite frankly, it just propelled me more to do this job. I was really grateful to the state of Florida and graduating from a local community in the Suncoast region to be able to attend Florida education and higher education. The goodwill of the individuals in this town and in this state, thank you so much for that. Being a first-generation college student, that was most dearly needed. Going into education, coming back to pay that back in our community was my mission. Came back to the Suncoast region, started teaching. Married a gentleman who was developed cancer, and I was young. And while we had our time together on this earth, he said, do everything. So we packed up our bags, we moved up to an institution a little north of here, and we risked everything for me to get this doctorate degree so I could be in front of you today. Only applied to the University of South Florida for a position there, I just put it all in on USF Go Bulls all day, every day. And just so grateful to be able to be a part of this amazing faculty, 120 plus strong, in this absolutely astounding College of Education. For me, education gives people the ticket to all their dreams. Since I was able to break that barrier in my family, every single one of my nieces and nephews, post me, have received at least a bachelor's degree. You see, we can do it. And it's just setting the example and moving forward and showing people that we can pave the way for others to follow. And to me, educators do that all day, every day. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chelsea Rivera. I'm a third-year doctoral student in the Interdisciplinary Education Program. I'm so happy to be here. My mother was an educator for over 30 years. And so growing up, I was immersed in the world of education. But sometimes you have to go through a million things before you get to where you are today. And that was the case for me. I thought I wanted to go into the political sector, but I realized that I wasn't cutthroat enough. I wanted to be a social worker, but realized that I was too much of an empath. And then I realized that I wanted to be an education lawyer, but I didn't have the right temperament for that one. So by trial by error, it led me straight to education. And honestly, it was the best decision of my life. Education is my calling. And so I realized that I wanted to make a small change in a great way. And so that led me to applying to the Urban Teaching Apprenticeship Program at the University of Pennsylvania, where I got my secondary degree in education, English education. And then I went on to teach in North and South Philadelphia. So teaching in Philadelphia was an eye-opening experience. It was also challenging. It wasn't the lack of resources. It wasn't the having to fundraise for my classroom library set. It wasn't the asbestos in the walls, or it wasn't my kids. They were great. That made being a teacher in Philly difficult. But it was the lack of support. It was the difficult workload and the difficult roster, and the poor school climate that made being a teacher difficult and made it hard for my students to learn and love being at school. So my sense of purpose comes with working with students, and so I realized that they needed and they deserved better. And so that led me to pursuing a PhD with aspirations of being a school administrator, to ensure that students and staff feel supported, feel respected, and feel like they belong. And so over the past couple years, I've had incredible female role models and mentors in my life, especially in education. My mom, Dr. Ellerbrock, Dr. Person, and all the school principals that I've met over the past couple years and developed relationships with. And they've taught me how to lead as a warm demander. So that is how to lead with kindness, how to lead with confidence, how to lead with mutual respect, and how to lead with high expectations for both students and staff. And that's what I strive to do every single day, and that's the kind of leader I want to be.
We told you that they were an impressive group, right? So what's clear from each of their stories is the amount of passion and purpose that they bring into their everyday work. And we often hear about education as being sort of a purpose-driven field. But education's also been in the news a lot lately, and maybe not so much in those terms, as it has become the focus of a lot of legislative updates. For our panelists, how would you describe the current state of education in Florida? What are the issues capturing your attention, and what are you doing to address them? I did prep them before today, so they've had a moment to think about this, even if it is a tough question.
Okay, that's quite lofty, but we will take that on because there are many issues. I believe for me, it's the current teacher shortage. Being the principal of a Title I school can make it even much more difficult. And the way I've attacked that issue is to partner with institutions like USF, Sarasota Manatee, who has been an amazing partner throughout the years with Booker Middle School. We've taken an opportunity to build in a pipeline by which we can invite teachers who come to volunteer or participate in our summer program to come alongside me as the instructional leader of that school to be a part of what we are doing at Booker Middle School, which has been amazing. I also take opportunities to build a pipeline from within. So giving our classified members an opportunity to go from paraprofessional to a teacher, and it has been amazing. I've had an opportunity to develop a very diverse group of teachers, which has been great. So when some people may say, oh, well, I can't find a Hispanic teacher, my goal as a leader has always been to recruit teachers and develop teachers who represent the demographics of our school. So I've had a great opportunity. If you walk on the campus of Booker Middle School, you will see a diverse group of teachers, a diverse group of students, and I've had an opportunity to develop, for example, our Hispanic population has grown to 50%. And most people would think it's difficult to recruit Hispanic teachers, which could very well be true. But being innovative and creative and finding ways to actually develop those individuals has been amazing and has allowed us to really open up our campus to really become a hub for a diverse group of leaders in education.
I'll share a little, some statistics with you to set the stage, and then piggyback on my colleague's statement. According to a Gallup poll, K-12 education, K-12 teaching in particular, is the #1 most burnt out profession in the United States. 44% of our teachers claim feeling burnt out always or very often, according to the same poll. And according to the Wall Street Journal, 55% of teachers reported to plan to leave the profession sooner than they actually planned. I can keep going. The Southern Education Foundation said 30% of teachers were found to be chronically absent. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 567,000 fewer educators in the American public system post the pandemic. 43% of our educator job postings are going unfilled nationwide. According to the Annenberg Foundation, we have just about 4,000 positions unfilled in the 21-22 year, and I can tell you that number has gone up. And in the Florida Department of Education statistics, about 5,000 vacancies at the beginning of the 23 year compared to slightly less the year before. In our local town of Sarasota, the Observer reported that 2% of the Sarasota County school teaching positions remain unfilled at the start of the 23-24 school year. We are doing much better than the state and the national average locally. When you ask why these statistics are so, many people have opinions on it, but when you look at some of the research being done, compensation comes up as number one. And I don't know if you've read the news lately, but we are now 50th in the nation. Okay. So many people think we have a nursing shortage in our state, and indeed we do. But I'm here to tell you we also have a teaching shortage crisis. You know, in many efforts, the state has placed many efforts on being able to open this profession up to the masses, such as extending the validity period of eligibility of temporary certificates from up to 5 years now, making it easier than ever for someone to be able to become a teacher, and that's just one such initiative. I want to caution us as a community. Opening the floodgates for anyone to be able to become a teacher does not equate to high quality teaching and student learning. High quality teacher preparation, to know how to reach and teach our children and our community, is our rallying cry. That's why we all sit here tonight, and I really hope that as a community, we begin to understand that we are one in one voice to be able to uplift our community, to help our future youth see a profession in education, one that is glorified, one that is meaningful, one that is worthy of pursuing, right, Chelsea? Right, LaShawn? Like,
Absolutely.
One that is absolutely worthy. And let's wrap our arms around them and raise them up to be able to enter our institution, our fine AA institution, one of 71 in Canada and US. Might I just add that plug for USF, go Bulls, okay? To be able to come back to our community and give it forward for our kids who deserve it. So when I think about our legislation and I think about our current situation, I can't help but think that the answer sits in this room tonight. We can do this for our community. We have our institution right here, and now is the time.
I like that, Cheryl. Now is definitely the time to really respond to what is happening in our communities.
And I'm going to piggyback on that. So yes, not only the recruiting, but the retention of teachers. Opening a brand new school in August, actually it was in June and July, I was like, okay, so how am I going to recruit teachers and how am I going to fill up a school? We had over 1,000 applications our first year. I wanted at least 500 students. Right now we're at 480. So, but how am I going to go ahead and search for these teachers knowing that there's a shortage? That was my challenge. But I think, again, not only looking at programs within, but I flew to Puerto Rico. We took 2 trips to Puerto Rico, and I'm not sure, the teacher salary in Puerto Rico, I believe, is $30,000. A lot lower. Teachers in Puerto Rico actually are taking different kinds of jobs, working in restaurants, working in department stores, because the salary is so low. I met a PhD student, again, who was working at a department store. So I brought as many as I could over, and I have my first grade teacher, a second grade teacher, my dance teacher, my music teacher. I brought as many as I could over because they have bachelor's degrees. They are trained, they are certified. So I brought those over with me. I think another thing we have to look at is other areas where women are coming to the United States with bachelor's degrees who are not reaping the rewards of their education. The first school that I was a principal at, I had a daughter who was a certified teacher from her country, and the director of education from her country apply as custodians. And the director said to me, please hire me. I know that I'm overqualified, but I know schools. I know how they work. I felt bad. I felt embarrassed to hire her, but I did because she said to me, I just want to be around children because this is what I know. I had a crew apply for my nighttime cleaning shift. Again, an architect from Columbia, a stewardess who was her daughter, a publicist with her husband. That's my cleaning crew. Why is it that if there's a shortage in teaching, and these women have degrees and have paid you know what it takes to go to school. Discipline, studying, focus. They have all these qualities already. Yes, they need to learn English. Absolutely. We're starting an English program next year at our school to attract. Talk about rally cry. Come to All Elementary. We will teach you the English and try to put you in a pair position. Right now, my pair is in pre-K. I have one who has a bachelor's in sociology, one who has a bachelor's in elementary ed, and one who has a bachelor's in graphic design. And they are teacher aides. We have to look differently at what's out there. And they're women who are educated. Let's try to create programs to bring them to the table and solve our problem. They're already bilingual. They have 2 languages. Think of how much richer our schools would be. We have shortages in that area anyway. What can we do? Let's do it. Like you said, the answer's in the room. Let's do it.
Yeah, I would actually like to piggyback off of all of you. As someone coming from Philadelphia, working in education in Florida was an eye-opener. What I loved about teaching in Philly was, and I was lucky, was the ability to make my own curricular decisions and to use whatever materials I wanted in the classroom. But what I'm seeing here and what saddens me about the policies and legislation in Florida is the restriction on teacher autonomy in the classroom. I think this is one of the many factors that's contributing to the teacher shortage, the high teacher shortage rate. I feel like when you aren't able to teach what you want, when you don't have a voice, you're not going to want to stay in the profession. So teacher autonomy to me not only means giving teachers the ability to make decisions in their classroom, but it also means to empower them as professionals to leverage their expertise, to their creativity, their individual students' learning and cultural needs in order to create more dynamic and effective learning environments. Without this, they're going to lose their sense of efficacy, and they're not going to want to stay in the profession. So as a future school administrator, I want to advocate for more policies and practices that support teacher autonomy and professional agency. I want to support teacher collaboration and shared decision-making. When teachers have a voice, this will improve learning outcomes for students, and it'll hopefully keep them in the profession. So,
thank you. The challenges that you all have identified are, not easily solved and not quickly solved. Pointing to the importance of your creativity and innovation and tackling these head on, whether it's changing how we think about leadership, whether it's changing how we think about who we hire in our schools, or thinking about how we recruit a diverse workforce. Keeping in time our time limitations, I'm going to give you a little bit of a curveball of a question. So how do you, as educators working in these challenging times, how do you maintain your passion and your ability to innovate and to continually create to solve these problems?
That's easy. I don't know how many of you have walked in a school lately and seen those little eyes look up at you, or you're looking up them, in my case, in many instances, but that's all that it takes for me. One kid. All day, every day, it's the kids. It's the kids, I think, that keep me so passionate. Anyone that knows me knows I cry at a drop of a hat.
She does.
Yeah. And truly, it's a cheerleading show every day with me. I am a champion and a cheerleader for every kid, one kid at a time, every day. That's how, Kayla.
My first boss had a sign on his wall when I had my interview, and it said, "It's the students, stupid." Which is rather irreverent, but very telling for his leadership, and it shaped the way that I've shaped my own career. So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And she's right. She's right. Anytime you walk into a room of children and you see them reading or you see them writing and you see them marvel at what they can do. And sometimes with all of the accountability that's the pressure of the accountability that's put on a school, sometimes we lose that. But when you go into a classroom and you really take the time to get to know kids, it's amazing what we can learn from them, how honest they are to call you on the carpet on a dime.
All the time.
They know. And all they want to do is just be accepted and have a place where they belong. One of the key components of our classrooms is a classroom meeting. Every morning has to start with a classroom meeting, and we will not give that up. But during that classroom meeting, not only do we build community and unity, but we get to know each other. And when I sit in on those classroom meetings where kids actually get to talk about some of the things that they're going through, it's hard being a kid right now. The pressures of social media, the pressures and obligations that they have because they have two working parents. I mean, it's really is hard. And whenever you kind of empathize with them or just show them a little bit of care, what do you want us to do? We just can learn so much from just sitting and talking to kids. If you haven't been into a school lately, elementary, middle, or high school, go. See if you can mentor children. See if you can talk to them. Just be there for them, because we just lose sight of what they bring to the table. And yeah, the kids. Thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to echo everything you said. For me, my secret sauce to working in someplace like Philly is relationship building. So not often are kids asked, "How are you? What's wrong? What's bothering you?" That is, relationship building is everything. Loving that student is everything. You can get far with that. So.
Thank you. I echo everything all of you said. For me, it's about building champions. As I mentioned earlier, I am very, very passionate and grew up in a household with high expectations. And so, though I am the instructional leader of a Title I school, I always say to my students, we will not have a Title I mentality. We are champions, we are the next world changers, and you're a Booker Scholar, and we're gonna achieve at high levels. So expectations are very important, and keeping in mind every student every day. That is what we do, and that is what we will continue to do, because we're not only impacting students today, we're impacting legacy. And that is extremely important. When you see a student today, I may see Chelsea and not truly understand the importance of educating Chelsea today, but Chelsea's gonna have a family one day. So ultimately, what I put inside of Chelsea is gonna impact her family in the future.
Wow, thank you all. Their passion for for investing in the children in our local community is so abundant. But I also know that each of these women is an award winner, a recipient of a major award for their work in education. And I want to know what you still have yet up your sleeves. So what initiatives are you all working on now? What are you excited about? And what makes you a visionary woman in education here in this area?
You know, I think
Go right ahead.
for me,
Be a leader.
sorry, yeah, for me, you go ahead. I'll be a servant leader right now. Go ahead, Cheryl. Go ahead. I want to hear you.
Well, we actually do some of this together.
Absolutely.
You know we do.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 of us on the stage here tonight through the gracious fund of the Henson Fund, and I'd like to recognize Mrs. Henson in the audience.
Mrs. Henson.
We have been working for multiple years, Chelsea, Dr. Frost, and myself, on a variety of initiatives at Booker Middle and in the pipeline. And Dr. Felino in the room is a proud principal of one of the schools in which we work with as well. So thank you for being here this evening as well. And our focus in these projects are revolving around literacy. Uplifting that child with a little bit of extra support, right, Dr. Frost?
Absolutely.
You know, to be able to be that scholar, to see that potential that we see in them, and to help them, which is a little bit of an extra. Now they're cutting me off. In order to be able to excel academically and grow to become whatever it is that they choose to be. So we have initiatives in our local community, in our local school systems, through the University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee, in partnership with community individuals invested in education that are every day making the difference on hundreds and hundreds of students in our community. So that's an initiative that I'm really excited about.
Cheryl, I'm really excited about that as well. And I'm so excited to share that through the initiative we've been working on, our level 1 readers, we're super excited that many of them have grown from level 1 to level 3 readers.
That's what we like to hear. For an educator, that's music to our ears.
So it's really finding those innovative projects and ideas. And I tell you, as a leader at Booker Middle School, I will try whatever it takes. Really, when individuals come and say, hey, what do you think about this? So new, innovative, finding creative ways to really educate our students and provide sustainability is very important to me. My next initiative is esports in the middle schools. I'm super excited about that because I'm not sure if many of you are aware of this, but esports is a growing sport in higher education. And so I'm excited about looking for ways to kind of tap every student and make sure that we engage every child every day.
And esports is video games?
It is video gaming. So think about it. Whereas we've always embraced football, baseball, all of the sports, we now are embracing esports. So giving those students who love video gaming an opportunity to also grow in that area.
As the mom of a middle schooler, I can tell you that he would be a lot more interested in reading books about video game design than he would just about anything else.
All righty, tell him to come see me.
Chelsea, would you talk a little bit more about the specifics of the initiatives and the partnerships between USF and Booker?
Yes, of course. So the first part of the initiative for this iteration, well, first, I am so grateful for Dr. E and Dr. Brisson and the Hensons for giving me the honor of planning and facilitating some of these initiatives. I'm truly grateful. It has not only impacted me professionally, but personally as well. So one part of the initiative is this near-peer literacy mentoring program that we have called Secret Society of Readers. We pair college-age mentors with, this year, 5th graders from 2 elementary schools and 6th and 7th graders at Booker Middle School. And every Friday, college-age mentors will sit down with their mentees and read and just catch up on life, talk about school, whatever it is that they want to talk about. But we always dedicate some time to reading, and then we allow for some time for arts-based reading responses at the end. The second part of the initiative this year was with our 7th graders, and it was an inquiry-based learning initiative. So our 7th graders, our Booker 7th graders, had the opportunity to go out into the community, visit some local organizations, learn about the issues impacting the community of Sarasota, and then they were tasked with coming up with a potential solution to mitigate some of these issues in their community. And their final projects were amazing. I was so proud of them this year. And so I think it was a success, and I'm looking forward to planning and refining some of these initiatives this summer as we go into next year.
Wonderful. Thank you. I had the opportunity to be a part of a summer program led by these wonderful ladies last summer, where we brought the Secret Society of Readers idea here to campus. We had Camp at College and brought those children to the USF campus for a week of circus-themed activities where they read about the circus, the history of performance, and then gave their own performances at the end of the week, including little speeches about each of the activities they did. And it was truly an astounding and rewarding opportunity to see the way that this near-peer mentorship that they're working on, the impact of that in the community. Dr. Zicafus, what about you? What do you have up your sleeve?
Hola! I've been working on to start this school for about the past 4 to 5 years. My dream was to have a school where our English language learners feel comfortable with the language and the skin that they're in. And we opened this year, like I said, we had over 1,000 applications. We have 480 students. We hope to increase that to 600 for next year. Right now I have 400 applications sitting to pull those 200 extra kids from. And think of a place where children come in and they're able to speak the language, their heritage language. They feel comfortable enough. Not everyone is bilingual, but all of us are emergent bilinguals, which means some of us are learning English and some of us are learning Spanish. We have the arts infusion piece where we have dance, theater, music, digital arts, and visual arts. We're one of 4 schools, I believe, in the whole entire state that has a digital arts actual class, where kids start by drawing on iPads and then they move into the graphic design on computers. And we start them in pre-K. So again, one of few schools who actually has pre-K students attending the arts. And when you see pre-K students dancing salsa, it truly is amazing. But we wanted to create a place where we're closing the achievement gap with our ELL learners, because I was with a district for 30 years, and the question that always came up was, what do we do with our English language learners? They don't understand. They don't know what to do. And then they lose that passion for learning within months because they come into a classroom where they can't communicate. Well, at Ola, they can communicate, and their parents are very well receptive. They're invited to come into our classrooms and be part of the learning. And then again, with this arts, it's just amazing. My dream is to have a second school. I think I still have a second one in me. The growth in the community is that, so we do have the kids that need that. So yeah, that's where I'm putting all my energy in, and like I said, I want to make a space also for women who are educated in other countries to come and reap the rewards of what they've already invested in themselves. And I think that we can start that as well. So again, working with parents, and then working with kids so we can close a lot of those gaps. Thank you.
I think you all can join me in agreeing that our children and our community members, our parents and mothers, are all in good hands under the guidance of the educators and leaders on this stage. So would you join me in giving a round of applause? I I think we may have time for 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Does anyone have a burning question? Yes, right in the back. Thank you. I didn't even have to call on anyone.
Ruby and LaShawn, I'm very interested in this immigration climate and philosophy, how that is affecting your students and the enrollment and continuous education.
For me, I will tell you, today, for example, we enrolled 10 new students who came from other countries. So kids are still enrolling. As I stated, we are constantly looking for ways to create that sense of belonging to make sure that when students come to us, they feel comfortable. They know that someone is there to help them achieve successfully, working with the families. So we've created a framework so that when they come in, we have a staff member who connects with the families. We also have what we call parent universities, where the families can come and gain additional information about who we are as a district, who we are as a school, and how parents themselves can ensure that their kids are successful. So it's really being creative and innovative at all times to make sure that we are finding ways to engage those families.
And for Ola, it's kind of, we had 5 this past week enroll. And for us, it's a breath of fresh air because they come into, again, an atmosphere where their Spanish language, and most of them are Hispanic, their language is spoken, and my entire front staff is bilingual. So as we tour, we have lots of people who are able to communicate with them and the families. And again, all of us are emergent bilingual, so we have our English dominant people who are, trying to communicate and take risks with language, and it kind of invites the children to also take risks with language as well.
Am I understanding correctly that you've had students enrolling in school this week, and we've got how many days left in the school year?
7.
Yes.
7, wow.
Yes.
So that really shows.
And we had about 10, probably 2 days ago. So in one
We
day.
don't say no. We don't say no.
Yeah.
That
We
really
don't say no.
shows the demand
Absolutely.
for high-quality education that meets students where they are.
Absolutely.
Do we have other questions from the audience? Yes.
Can each one of you tell us about the new school that opened? It's a bilingual school on Myrtle across from Boogaloo?
A Dreamers Academy? They are actually an emerging school, like a charter school, right? And bilingual charter school. So I can't really share a lot about it. I do know that it's elementary right now, and just as you've heard on the platform, a lot of those practices are implemented in Dreamers Academy. I do know that it is an amazing school. I've had an opportunity to tour, and the vision is excellent and high expectations. So.
Any others? Well, yes.
So when you were asked, the climate and everything that you're doing, you guys were really positive. Part of me wants to hear how you're disruptors, because I know you are.
Really?
Yes. What has just been like a solid no? We're not going to do this. And I know there's people in the room, and you may not feel like you could speak freely, but I have to have hope as a parent of a child in the district that, how do I say this, goodness and truth is prevailing.
And that's a very great point, because that's how I lead. For me, transparency, honesty, truth, and ensuring that I instill values in students. So you're right, I'm a disruptor, can you tell? No, but really, my goal is to ensure that we, as I stated before, are building the next world changers. So sometimes that comes with risk, and oftentimes you have to remain solid in your decision-making, and you can't waver, particularly when you know that it's right, when you know that it's good for kids. And oftentimes, the noise is out there, right? There's lots of noise, but you have to stay focused on the goal and what you know is right, and keep a heart of honesty and truth.
And I can testify firsthand. I have watched LaShawn for multiple years now, and that is 100% exactly how she leads her school. She leads it with integrity and truth, and that is just spot on, LaShawn.
Thank you.
From a teacher preparation perspective, we know there's a shortage, so you would think that it would be just, yes, if they can meet the criteria, yes, they're in the College of Education. But I'm here to tell you right now that the faculty sitting in the room this night that represent the College of Education, in particular Sarasota Manatee, thank you for being here this evening, by the way, we've counseled people out of education. When you know that someone is in your courses and in your class, but they would not be the right fit for them to enter a classroom of our community's youth, I feel we have an ethical imperative to be able to help them find an alternative path. And whether that alternative path is another sector in education or it's someplace else, we owe it to the student, and we owe it to our youth, and we owe it to the future generations to be able to help them do that. So again, right, there's truth and truth, and we have to respect that. And the same is true when there are folks sitting out there at the university or in our care or in our life, and we know that they would be an excellent teacher. I also find it to be my ethical imperative to tell them that education is the place for them and help open those doors for them. So I think a little bit more of that, a little bit more truth on both sides would really go a long way in helping to advance the current status of our system.
I'd have to agree with that. And I think multiple paths, not just the one to teaching. But I often say for those, when you talk to the younger generation who are like, no, I would never do teaching, I'm proud to say that 2 of my sons are teachers. And I think that educators need to lift up our profession. It is a profession, and we can't go out with the gripe. We have to be able to say, I love what I do, and treat each other with that professionalism that we expect. But sometimes you hear the teacher against teacher or the admin against teacher, and we've got to get rid of that. It is not us against them. It's all of us against illiteracy, against poverty, against the children who are abused. How can we stand together, and what unites us versus what separates us? And the other thing is, I think we need to think of, I read recently that our younger generation will change careers 4 to 6 times within their lifetime. Why not one time, one of those 4 be teaching? Let's not look at education as a 30-year retirement kind of gig. But why can't it be, you give 5 years, you're vested? So if we know that kids are going to be changing 4 to 6 times, why not switch it up? What programs are out there to invite you to teach for a stint instead of just investing all that? I think we would get some people who would then say, you know what, let me try teaching. So thinking differently about different pathways.
It's obvious to me that teachers are amongst some of the most creative people in our society, and the women on the stage have shared their creativity and passion with us for about an hour. So let's give them a round of applause, and thank you so much for everything you've done. And thank you all to the audience for your attention and for joining us this evening. Thank you for your insightful questions and for being part of a wonderful evening where we get to celebrate education in our local community. Lauren, do you have some final words for our audience? I do. I thought you might. Thank
you so much. And Kayla, this is for you as well for doing an awesome job. Here's your card. Thank you. Of course. I'll keep this brief. Wasn't that incredible? Thank you so much. I'll tell you what. With these educators, the future is so bright. Thank you so much for everything that you've done this evening to share your insights and wisdom. We have small gifts that we just passed out. I also want to make sure that how you know we have a gift for you. We'll give it to you in a moment because we really enjoyed your speech this evening. If you were inspired this evening, what Women in Leadership and Philanthropy does is we help mentor students, and we also help provide scholarships to USF students. And a big part of that is making sure that we cross all 3 campuses. And WLP has a scholarship here on the USF Sarasota Manatee campus. And we are working really hard to get this scholarship to the endowed level so that this gift can be one that keeps going for years and years and generations and generations. So if you are inspired to help the youth of today pursue their college education dreams with receiving a scholarship, I would ask that you kindly click on this QR code and consider making a gift. And if maybe you need some more time to think about it, this link will be live. And if you have friends or family members that might be interested, we ask that you kindly consider that as well. I really want to give a big round of applause and thank you to Anila Jane once more. I said it earlier and I'll say it again, no one bleeds more green and gold than you. So it's so true, and it's an honor and a privilege to partner with you on tonight's events. I want to truly from the bottom of my heart say thank you so much for participating in tonight's evening. I'll close it in the way that we always do, so horns up everybody. And on the count of 3, let's say go Bulls. 1, 2, 3. Go Bulls! Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.